My name is Omid Aski Larijani. I'm from Iran and been moving since I was 1 years old. Gypsy style with my parents and my sister. And so I had a full-time job at the School of Health Information Sciences, and I was living in Houston, and I just wasn't really fulfilled in my inside. My soul wasn't fulfilled for some reason. I was making good money, had education, everything. And I just came to Austin one time and I discovered how beautiful it was. Then after nearly, I would say, 7 months or so, I discovered Barton Springs. After a little while of living here, I was given this instrument called didgeridoo. It's a hollow log that termites eat the inside of, and I discovered that it's a language to the land to sing about the southeast wind, sing about the surface of the water, sing about the bubbles coming to the surface of Barton Springs, sing about the movement of the vegetation dancing slowly in the back, sing about the imagination of the water coming out of the eye in the very bottom of the springs. Austin launched me to Northern Territory, Australia, where this instrument didgeridoo is from, the Aboriginal people there. They were opening my eyes and they planted seeds. They plant seeds, they're gardeners. Just so you can see how connected every person is to the land and how alive land is. Because the land is there to teach you. So I would walk by and my Aboriginal sister was doing a painting. I'm like, oh, that's the big greenback turtle. What are the lines around that? Oh, that's the food for the turtle. I'm like, how do you know? Did you go snorkeling in there? How do you know? She says, we just know, and we know the patterns, we paint them. So it struck my interest. I asked them in ceremony, I've learned your dancing, your didgeridoos, but when do I get to learn your art? My Aboriginal aunt, who's an amazing elder painter, she says, just be open to it. That's all she said. So when I came back to Austin from that ceremony, I had not done art in 10 years. No art in 10 years. I jumped in there and I opened my eyes and I couldn't believe that just by paying attention closely, calmly, in absolute silence, one after another pattern was easily coming to me. I would jump in, jump out, do an art piece immediately, small one. Jump in, jump out, do another piece, and let it sink in, soak in to me, my imagination. Jump in, jump out. There was crawdaddies sticking out of some of the crevices. I did a drawing. Once I had all my patterns, I started telling stories with it. Then the story of life is told to the eyes of nature, and it's not separate from me. Everything comes out of the water, goes back to the land. That's what's been cut from society. Connection to the land, like your mother, is the umbilical cord. So this art was a way to connect the needles of my heart, the rug to the land, connect it like one. And when you jump in that water, you're really jumping into the inside of the land, the heart of the land. No matter what's on my mind, good or bad, if my rivers inside are dirty, it cleans me immediately. So it's very sacred for me. I've discovered connecting my heart to the land is the most nationalistic endeavor. Connecting, that's the true native person. Connecting their eyes and their senses to the land and seeing it like their own flesh. And telling stories with it and finding the medicines and sharing it with the whole community. That's a native person. I mean, Barton Springs is my first home. I may have this home that you're looking at, but Barton Springs is my first home because in art, where I'm from in the Middle East, we say that the eyes are connected to the springs, and the springs are actually the eyes of the land. And they are, if you go look at it. It looks beautifully blue, it's reflective, and it's also, if the water is dirty, the eye of the society is dirty because that water has consistency. It has a journey. It's a place of healing. It's a place of peace. It's a place of innovation. And Barton Springs is the only springs in the metropolitan city so close to downtown. And everyone can get in there and take a little sip and go. Take a little dip and go, you know? And so regardless of who you are, what your classification is, once you jump in that water, it doesn't, you're just an experience. You're in the now, your being is alive. Not your mind, not your heart. Your experience becomes your being. And that water gets you to that being, the core, the high pyramid.